So there is a lot of research in cognitive psychology that goes back decades that shows that categorization is kind of a fundamental human process. So in order to make sense of people that we encounter or to make sense of products or organizations, the first thing that we do is we categorize them. One of the major themes of this research is this idea of typecasting, which is basically the idea that we tend to categorize people as belonging to a certain social group. And so in labor markets, that might be that we categorize, for example, an actor as being an actor who works in romantic comedies. And this research shows that when individuals are typecast in labor markets, it is beneficial in that it helps them get jobs in those same categories, but it also makes it more difficult for them to get jobs in other categories. In the world that we study, so the authors, the books that we study, one of the reasons that folks try to branch out is just for kind of creative expression. We basically started by gathering the data from Goodreads on millions and millions of reviews of authors' books and started to think of ways that we could capture the extent to which those authors had changed their positioning over time so that we could then examine statistically how the change in their positioning affected the ratings they got, how many folks actually read the book, and then also the level of the ratings. The main findings that we arrived at from this study is that one of the reasons that repositioning is hard is because of this idea of label mismatch, that people tend to look at a book from an author that's repositioned and they mislabel it. And that mislabeling has important negative consequences for authors. So for example, books that are mislabeled tend to get fewer reviews and they tend to get lower average ratings as well. And so what that means is that when an author repositions, they're likely to get mislabeled, and that mislabeling is likely to have negative consequences for how their book is evaluated.